saying no to that pay rate. I'm saying no to a friend that don't really like me no way. I'm saying no to a man that just wants something from me. I'm saying no to anything that takes me away from my life. Happy Friday, guys. I am back. For all the new people that's on my channel, I'm Jasmine, and I am the creator and CEO of Adorn Elements, which is your new skincare line in Houston, Texas. I drop new videos every Friday, so make sure you subscribe to my channel so you won't miss it. And go ahead and hit that bell so you can be the first to get this like. So, today's video, we are going to talk about why Adorn Light Elements even exist. Story time! So you can get to know the person behind the brand. We are going to take it way back to 2017. I was a nurse. Well, I'm still a nurse, but yeah. I was a new nurse. It had been like a year. And I was just in this mode, a 24-year-old, thinking that it's time to like build a family, thinking it's time to settle down, thinking it's time to get serious about your life because you're almost 30. It's just so amusing to me that I felt like that when I was a baby. I was truly a baby, and I didn't even know it until now that I'm 30. Yes, I was in a long-term relationship, and we started talking about kids, you know, marriage. I was engaged, and I thought I had my life figured out. I was like, yeah, like, this is what I'm doing. So not truly understanding the pressure that nursing school had and the hold that nursing school had on me, and then transitioning into my career, I had gained a lot of weight. I was the biggest that I've ever been. I ate my emotions. I had this money that I never had, and I would eat. Like, we going out to eat, we going to dinner, we going, you know. Fast forward, I finally got pregnant, and I was filled with so much joy. I was like, yeah, this is it. Oh my God. Like, it felt very surreal. Very surreal. And, you know, we both were pretty happy. And he was not as happy. You know, men just kind of go with the flow of things, I think. But, yeah, so I was like, all right, like, I have my career, I'm gonna have my family, this is gonna be great. Like, and the next week I started having some bleeding, and went to the doctor, and come to find out I was miscarriaging, and my whole heart was just breaking. It was breaking. I blamed myself for not taking care of myself, thinking, you know, I was overweight, thinking that I wasn't eating correctly. Just everything was pretty much my fault. So, being the Aries that I am, I decided that, no, I am going to be a mother. I'm going to be a mother, and I'm going to be a wife. So I became this extreme health conscious person. I started to like look up all types of recipes. I started following the Dr. Sebi nutritional guide. I became vegan. I started working out almost every day. I began to take herbal medications that balanced your hormones, because Google told me that I had endometriosis, that I had uterine fibroids, and that I had everything under the sun. And so that's what I needed to make sure I got that corrected. I began to become hyper focused on being healthy because I felt that I needed to be healthy, and then everything will work out then. This is the time that I ran into shea butter and coconut oils and all the yumminess of the world. And so I was grateful to find out all that information through my pain. I began to realize, like, I was driven by being hurt. That was my biggest motivation. And so, yeah, I began to make my body butter for my family and for myself. So this body butter, which is the heavy formula now, that is healing so many people. This body butter did so much for the self-care and my confidence. It restored me. It restored me like no other. And so my grandma she was a Sag. She hyped me up. Like, she was like, baby, also a former PB graduate. She hyped me up. She was like, baby, you need to sell this body butter. You need to get it. You need to sell this body butter, because this body butter is great. Like, she put that on. Every time she seen me, she would snap and just dance and just be so happy to see me, because she felt like I was a vibrant spirit, or she was just she hyped me up. Like, so another thing that my grandma noticed is how much weight I had lost. I lost, I don't know, a lot of weight, 50 maybe pounds, being vegan, and she looked at me and she said, don't ever let no one or nothing take your light and slow you down. I said, man, what this lady talking about? I'm not sure what she's seen. And it could just be like old heads, when you lose a lot of weight, they think something wrong. Oh, she on them drugs, She just knew I was in a bad spiritual state, and I was trying to find something. Well, I found it. I had got pregnant again, and this time I was very excited because I felt like, oh, this works. Like, I healed myself, and now God has blessed me from my discipline. And once again, a week later, started bleeding. I tried to stay positive, to think that it was just, implantation, that, nothing wasn't what I thought, but the next week it was negative. And it's like, I'm gonna just go to the doctor. I was a little in denial, and of course the ultrasound showed no sac, and I was like, yeah, maybe I'm not meant to be a mom. I went through a deep depression. I had, this weight that literally both off of me. I had lost a lot, and, I I was feeling good, like on the outer, and everybody was congratulating me, and nobody knew about my second miscarriage except for my partner. And I didn't really feel like a woman. I'm like, yeah, like I'm making this body butter, I'm mixing up herbs, and I thought this was it. Like, I thought this was, you know, it wasn't. I was working nights, I was not sleeping, maybe like 3 hours. I was a wreck. Started working out more. But something told me to go to the doctor, and so that is when I found out I had PCOS, which is polycystic ovarian syndrome. It's when your ovaries are very, very fertile, but they are immature, so the egg is weak. This can be from multiple things, but no one really knows the cause. So I said, okay, at least I know the problem. I blamed nursing school then. I said, yeah, nursing school did this to me. I blamed my partner. I said, yeah, you stressed me out. Because I was like, yeah, no, it's not my fault. It's not my fault. When in actuality, it was nobody's fault. 2018. Yeah. 2018. So yeah, I am pregnant. Pregnant again. Yeah. Pregnant again. And you know, still using my body butter, still on my health kick, still not vegan because I had lost too much weight. Like, I was like, where's my thickness? Like, where is the thighs? The thighs are not giving no more, and I like my thighs. So yeah, I was being healthy, but I had eased off a little bit because the energy that I had was kind of like leaving. My grandmother was ill, going through some things in the hospital. She was in and out of consciousness and things, and she woke up and told my mom, you know, Jazz went and got some fish for me. Jazz was my nurse, and she went and got some fish. Now, if y'all know, when older people have dreams about fish, somebody pregnant. And she basically had a dream that I went and got her some fish. Like, you know, my mama called me. You know, she called me. She was like, Jazz, Granny said that you went and got her some fish. You pregnant? I was like, no. I'm like, what the hell? This lady, like, no. How she know that? I ain't tell nobody. So how did she know that? And I did not tell anybody because I was expecting to have another miscarriage. I said, yeah, I'm going to have another one, so I don't really want to tell y'all. And my grandmother passed away the week before my birthday. I was never able to tell her that, you know, I was having a child. But something that stuck with me, two things. For one, she knew I was pregnant, and that was crazy. That was kind of crazy to me. And also the don't let no one take your light and slow you down. It just kept playing in my head. I finally told everybody that I was pregnant. And this time everything went smooth. My relationship was at its worst. My mental health was at its worst. My life was at its worst. My friendships was at its worst. My faith was at its worst. I had my child September 17th. No complications. I had no complications this whole pregnancy. Crazy, right? I was in labor 18 and a half hours. I had a 3rd-degree tear. He was in NICU for 2 weeks. He broke his clavicle. Yeah, it's lit. But I had a child and I had a family. But that thing that my grandmother said just kept playing in my head. My spirit kept talking to me. Like, I'm not happy. This is supposed to be the moment that I waited for, and I'm not happy. My partner was grieving. I don't think he even knew how to be here for me. We were so used to toxic behavior. And we separated when my son was around 9 months. That whole, that year was crazy. I was lost. Completely lost. I didn't know what to do. I didn't know. I felt like I had broke up my family because ultimately I pushed the issue. And I no longer was on my health journey. I stopped taking care of myself. I began to blame myself for everything again. I decided that I cannot be a woe is me. Like, I have a spirit on me that I will not. Like, everybody knew. Like, if Jazz around, it's gonna be light, love, and laughs. Like, I'm gonna make sure that we having a good time, we vibing, And I began to date again, and what I will say is it was a roller coaster. I was really focused on myself and my child for the most part. I kept letting that thing that my grandma told me to just like, never let nobody take your life. Never let nobody slow you down. And the moment anybody got in the way of that, like, well, you could go because I'm not dealing with it. So yeah, I was figuring out how to co-parent, how to still work and be a mom, how to date, how to give time to myself. I was just like spreading myself so thin in a way, but I knew I deserved all of that. Like, I deserved to have time to myself. I deserved to be single, and I deserve to have a good co-parenting relationship with my son's dad so my son could have his dad in his life. I deserve to be superwoman, okay? I had hung the body butter up. That was a thing that just kind of fizzled out. It just took too much time, and I just didn't really feel like doing it. I'm good to 22. 21, I was just figuring out all of that, like dealing with crazies, dealing with great people, dealing with new friends, dealing with a new job, being on day shift. Like, I was trying to figure it all out, and I needed that time. I did. And I began to learn myself. I began to become more into crystals. I began to become this herbalist in a way, but I wasn't really into the skincare part of it. But being an herbalist and my crystals was a lot. My faith with God was a lot. 2022, Wow, it was crazy. My best friend from college, Precious, she had passed away suddenly, September 11th. And I had just invited her to my son's birthday party the next week. It felt so surreal to see her in the hospital like that. And when I went to see her, the first thing I heard her, like, her spirit spoke to me and said, bitch. Like, I don't like this. I want to be free, you know. In my heart, I knew that ultimately it was going to come a time where she was going to have to transition. And she was just vibrant. She never took no shit from no man. She never took no shit from anybody at work. She never took nothing from a friend. She built her own house from the ground up. She was a driven, passionate Leo that, you know, was like no other. We had kind of lost touch because I was a mom and she was single. And I'm just going to say that time was not made to spend time together. And we would always make those plans, you know, but she was working nights, I was working days. Our schedules a lot of the time just wasn't the same. And we really had began to miss one another towards the end of her life. And it was so weird. She wrote me, you know, my birthday was in March, but she wrote me like in August and was like, Jess, what we doing for your birthday? And I'm like, that's weird because you all about yourself. Like, if anybody know a Leo and the Aries, we are both very selfish, okay? And that was okay. We was great in that space. But so when she reached out and asked me about my birthday, I was like, that's weird. She was like, I don't know, but we need to go out the country. And I was like, I'm down. I'm going to do that. We going to do that, you know. Unfortunately, she never made it. I'm a crybaby. As I should be right now, because this girl, when I tell you, if I posted a picture of my sock, she would like the picture. Like, she would comment on it. Like, she would engage with me. She was supportive. She was like, Jazz. Like, Jazz. Every time she said it like that, I was just like, okay, what, Precious? Moving on to my dad. He tried to comfort me. In her passing, and he wrote me a message and it said, like, you know, hang in there, sister. Life is no joke. We don't always have the answers, you know, but we just gotta roll with it. And not knowing that he was preparing me for his passing in November 5th, a little under 2 months after losing my friend. In between that, I had also dealt with the breakup of someone I was dating, and I also dealt with a breakup of another best friend that was showed through spirit that she wasn't really for me. I felt like I was in the twilight zone. I felt like my life wasn't really real. I felt like everything had slowed down, but everything was going fast. I felt like How am I going to tell my son that he won't see his pawpaw that he adores, that will just sit and watch him like play and just admire him, you know? How could this man that was perfectly fine a couple days ago when I seen him for Halloween, I went to work every day and we thought had a little code, how could he, transition? Just imagine the ground crumbling below you, and imagining that you're floating, so it's okay. But if you touch the ground, you're not going to be able to stand. Why am I floating? Because I'm in disbelief of all the grief, all the breakups, my best friend passing, losing my other best friend to whatever kind of spiritual attack, breaking up with somebody that was controlling, possessive, dealing with my father passing with no answer. Yeah, I drank, I partied, I drank, I partied, I drank. I numbed myself. 2023, yeah, I still had to be a mother, still had to work. I was single. I still needed to be there for my mom in her grieving, because they were together since my mom was a little child. February 2023. My mom was diagnosed with breast cancer. Yeah, this gotta be a joke. Man, somebody give me the script. This ain't real life. This is not real life. Like, I am not about to lose my mom and my dad. I didn't know what to do. I was like, this drink is not doing it for me no more. I went to therapy. I met this amazing lady, and she helped me to feel again. All the crap that I had piled on, all the crap that I had chunked up to, that's life. My daddy would not want me to be crying about him. My mom don't want me to be crying, because I need to be strong for her. My son, I don't want him to see me crying, and he would look at me and say "Ooh, you such a crybaby." I'm like, I'm crying about my daddy. He's like, you're gonna see him later, and kids. My child, man, he is a blessing. I am so grateful. I do, you don't even know, this little boy, in conjunction with my therapist, gave me so much hope. So my mom started going through chemo, and she started developing this rash on her hand. And something in my spirit was like, maybe the body butter will help. I got out my handy dandy red binder that had all of my recipes and all of my health conscious things that literally from 2017 that I had not picked up in years. I still had it in my closet. And when I tell you, my mom started to use this body butter, she said, "Jazz, Do you know the doctor prescribed cream doesn't help like this body butter? Like, it would moisturize the stuff that they gave her, but the pain that she had on the rash, my body butter was the only thing that helped. And I was like, whatever. You know, I was like, Mama, you crazy? You need to get therapy too, because you're going crazy. You really going crazy. Like, she's like, no, Jazz, I'm serious. You know, and I was just like, all right. I told this to my therapist, and she said, Jasmine, well, why didn't you tell me about this before? Like, this would be great for you to start. And I was like, ugh, like, shut up. She made me accountable for staying on a schedule to create this line. And I just could not think of a name. I was so stuck on a name. Like, and I would tell her every week, like, I don't know if I should do this because it's going to be nameless. She's like, you need to start creating. It's like, all right. I did a lot of research because I wanted to perfect the formula. I made this batch that was different from the heavy formula, and it was very light, but it was very moisturizing. I was like, this is so light. Like, oh my God. And I started being a model for it, for myself. I started to heal my own eczema and my own dry skin that I had, because I get alligator skin. And I said, this is so light. You know, I told my mom, she was like, I don't want that. I want the one that you know. So I was like, okay, you can keep that body butter, but this body butter is going to be for more of a daily use, you know. So I knew in my heart, I was like, okay, it needs to be light. Light needs to be in the name. Light. I knew that my energy was light. I knew that the body butter was light. And I knew that I stood for being natural and being organic. Like, I didn't want all the colors. I wanted to stay true to the earth elements. And so I said, all right, light elements. You know, I had to pull out my comedic book, Tree of Life. And I got some inspiration. It said inner light, inner light, inner light, inner light elements. I was like, no. So Adorned by Miguel came on. And I just started singing. Oh, I got chills right now. And he says, the same way that the stars adorn the sky. And look up, sugar. He said, and it's time now. And so I started to look up the meaning of adorn. And it's to make something more beautiful. That more, I said, this is perfect. It's already beautiful. We're enlightening it. We are adorning it. We are bringing out the beauty that's inside already through the natural elements of life. We are lightening up your spirit. We are lightening up your skin. We are lightening up your trauma. We are lightening up everything that's not you. We taking that out. Adorn light elements. I said, this is perfect. This is perfect. Like, I was geeked. In the midst of helping out my mom, in the midst of trying to help my son grieve my father in the midst of me trying to grieve, in the midst of changing jobs, because I needed a new change. I needed to feel lighter. I needed to not be needed. I went to a bigger place that did not need me as much, so I could focus on me and my brand and what I'm trying to create. When I tell you, I went through a season of separation like no other. I said, this shit is bigger than me. This shit is bigger than me. I have to focus. I have to be disciplined. I have to be a model. I have to be the epitome of what Adorn Light Elements really means. So I'm saying no to this that's outside of me. I'm saying no to what you think I am. I'm saying no to my career. I'm saying no to that pay rate. I'm saying no to a friend that don't really like me no way. I'm saying no to a man that just wants something from me. I'm saying no to anything that takes me away from my life. My products, my oatmeal body scrub, my African black soap face wash, my turmeric face scrub, my light whipped body butter, my heavy body butter, and my lip balm. And I launched. And I celebrated. And I cried. I did not want to celebrate with anyone or anything that took my light away or slowed me down. My grandma would be so proud. Precious would be so proud. My father let me know that he was proud. I was questioning if I was doing enough. Probably a few months ago. And I was just listening to music, and Drake, my dad is something else. Drake came on. I'm so proud of you. I cried. Again, one thing I'm going to do is I'm going to cry and laugh, though. Like, I ain't going to be, I'm going to cry and laugh. I'm so geeked right now. No, I ain't lying. I'm sober. I am sober. Okay, I'm sober as fuck. But this is only the beginning. This is only the beginning. And I am on a mission, and I have a mission to spread this light, to embody this light, to let other people embody their light, to take in and adorn their light with what you already have. You don't need all this extra stuff. Throw all of that away. What's here on this earth is all you need. And you have to believe it. I set intentions when I make my body butter. I create a whole vibe when I make all of my products. And then I use it myself. And then I use it on my son. And I just sprinkle it everywhere. Okay? And here we are. Here we are, being adorned, shining our light and glowing, all through being disciplined and being consistent, all through self-love, all through self-care, all through setting boundaries, all through being free and flowing with life and doing what you know is best for your spirit and your soul, all for what you believe. It better be you. You better believe in yourself, or somebody else gonna tell you what to believe. I promise you, what that other person tell you to believe is gonna be as far away from your truth Get back in tune with the star player. Start to glow, even in the dark. Rise from those ashes, because guess what? It's always light. 2024 is going to be here in a little. I'm so excited to help you guys on this journey, and I really hope that you guys have gained something from this to understand what I stand for. But you know, my tribe, my audience, they'll know. Thank you. Remember to subscribe, like this video, and share with a friend. Hit the notification bell, because what? You can't miss this light. Bye.